It was my first year as a teacher in a school for tribal children. Midway through the class, I asked one of the boys his name. He answered so softly that I could barely hear him. And when I did catch the name sounded very unfamiliar to me as a Bengali. I asked him to repeat the name and he repeated again and again, but I just could not get it right. Later, one of the other students told me that his name was Furgal. Now, to a Bengali ear, Furgal is not a common name at all, right? But as years passed, as I grew closer to my students and their lives, I started discovering a beautiful repertoire of Santali names. Names like Jir, Sagun, Jitkar, Jitrai, Umul, Birbaha, Rahamala, Rimil, and so much more. The names which were once unfamiliar to me are now familiar ones. I can pronounce the names with ease and respect. That journey taught me something very important. If we as teachers don't take the effort to understand and honor the cultural identities of our students, we miss out on connecting with them in the most human way. And that's why cultural competence is not just helpful, it's essential part of every EFL teacher. Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Voice and Verse by Reeju. In this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of cultural competence for EFL teachers. Now, for those of you who are wondering what EFL is, it's English as foreign language. So basically, every English teacher teaching English in any non-native English speaking region like India are EFL teachers. Let's look into the dynamics of EFL teaching. Let's get clear. Cultural competence doesn't mean memorizing facts about every culture. Nobody can do that. It means carrying two tools in your pocket. Firstly, a mirror to check your own cultural lens, and secondly, a window to see the world through the eyes of your students. It is the awareness that when a student walks into your class, they carry with them their own traditions, their ways of speaking, their ways of showing respect or disagreement. A teacher who is able to notice or honor the cultural identities that are built with their students, for that teacher and the student, the class no more remains a foreign space. It becomes a space which is also equally owned by each of the students. Why does cultural competence matter? Now let's imagine two scenarios. In the first one, let's take a teacher, an EFL teacher who ignores cultural competence. The students make very little eye contact. The teacher labels him as not confident or not engaged. Another student may respond to "How are you?" with a long, detailed story, and the teacher gets impatient. The teacher thinks that the student doesn't know the right way to respond. Misunderstandings pile up, and the class feels cold. In the second scenario, the teacher is culturally competent. They are aware that in English, "How are you?" is just a mere greeting. But in many other cultures, it could be an invitation for genuine sharing of feelings and emotions. They understand and explain that nuance. They interpret behaviors not as mistakes but as differences. Suddenly, the students feel more understood. The teacher feels respected and the classroom feels more human. That's the difference cultural competence can bring in. It can transform teaching from correction into connection. So, how do we develop this competence as a teacher? There are three steps that I can think of. Firstly, ask before you assume. If a student behaves in a way that you don't expect, pause, ask them, or gently try exploring where it comes from. Secondly, incorporate culture into your lessons. Say when you are teaching idioms or gestures or greetings in class, compare that with the students' own cultures. You could say, in English, we say this. What do you say in your own language? Students love these moments. They do not see English as a replacement of their cultural identities, but as a bridge. Thirdly, reflect on yourself. We all carry with us certain cultural rules. We may believe that raising hands on children equals discipline or silence equals attention. But these are not universal truths. These are cultural habits. If we start reflecting, we will stop imposing and start connecting with our students. At the end of the day, cultural competence is not just an accessory, it's the heartbeat of EFL teaching. Because English teaching is never about English alone, it's about building the bridges that allows students to walk between who they are and who they are becoming. So, the next time you are in class, remember your role is not about teaching the language of English only, it's about creating the language of trust. That's what cultural competence can create. It makes us not just teachers of English, but teachers of connection. It reminds me of the timeless Durdarshan line, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा. When your sur, your tune meets mine, a new harmony is created. That's what cultural competence essentially means in teaching. If this video made you think, please do comment and let me know your thoughts. Please also like, follow, and subscribe to my Facebook page and YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone.